International oil prices hit their highest intraday level since 2022 as the US and Iran show no signs of lifting their blockades of the Strait of Hormuz. The new Reporters Without Borders index shows press freedom has fallen to its lowest level in a quarter of a century. International oil prices hit their highest intraday level since 2022 on Thursday, reaching as high as $126 a barrel as the US and Iran show no signs of breaking the deadlock in negotiations and lifting their blockades of the Strait of Hormuz. The price remained elevated but slipped below $115 a barrel by early afternoon in Europe. Meanwhile, the United States announced that it intends to launch an international coalition under the name Maritime Freedom Construct to restart shipping in the Strait of Hormuz. Iran, however, remained defiant as Ayatollah Mojtaba Khamenei insisted the U.S. had been defeated in the war, rejecting American interference in the strait as both the U.S. and Iran maintain their blockades. The standoff has heavily impacted Iran's economy, with Iranian rial hitting a historic low on Wednesday, trading at 2.1 million rials to the euro. U.S. President Donald Trump has said he has no intention of lifting the blockade, rejecting Tehran's proposal to reopen the Strait of Hormuz in exchange for an end to the U.S. naval siege of Iranian ports.
Ukraine is demanding a long-term ceasefire in Russia's all-out war instead of the short parade day truce the Kremlin suggested to U.S. President Donald Trump. Moscow proposed Victory Day parade ceasefire as the Kremlin is concerned over Ukraine's long-range striking capabilities. More than a victory feat, the 9th of May for Russia under Putin has become one of the most important holidays and a public demonstration of the Kremlin's military power. Moscow has already scaled down the parade, where for the first time in years, Russian armored columns will not be rolling on the Red Square. It is seen as an important indicator of the situation in Russia's military and of personnel and equipment shortages. Russia previously announced a short ceasefire for Easter earlier in April.
Press freedom has fallen to its lowest level in a quarter of a century, Reporters Without Borders warned on Thursday. The index shows that press freedom is in decline in 100 of the 180 countries and territories it evaluates. In addition, only 7 countries in Northern Europe, led by Norway, have a press freedom situation that is considered good.
Si on mesure en termes de couleur dans la carte du classement mondial, vous voyez qu'au début du classement en 2002, 20% de la population mondiale habitait dans des pays où la situation était considérée comme bonne ou plutôt bonne. Aujourd'hui, ce n'est plus que 1%.
The report also highlights the decline of press freedom in the United States, which it says is caused by systematic attacks on journalists under the Trump administration.
Particulièrement inquiétante. La parole politique sous Donald Trump contre les journalistes est complètement débridée. Vous avez des injures à répétition contre les reporters, vous avez une délégitimation du travail des journalistes, vous avez aussi un définancement délibéré des médias publics, que ce soit les médias publics nationaux ou internationaux américains. Bref, tout ça dresse un paysage qui est particulièrement sombre et qui explique que les États-Unis aient dévissé de 7 places dans le classement mondial de la liberté de la presse.
RSF states that while EU member states retain their leading positions in the index, partly thanks to the recent European Media Freedom Act, some EU countries remain in breach of the legislation. A new statue has appeared overnight in central London of a man striding off a plinth blinded by a billowing flag. Elusive street artist Banksy later confirmed it was his work. In a video posted to his Instagram page, Banksy showed snippets of how the sculpture was put up in the dead of night. It was erected in Waterloo Place near other statues of King Edward VII, Florence Nightingale, and the Crimean War Memorial. Statues are not what Banksy is primarily known for. He's far more famous for his spray painting on buildings, with his first creations appearing in the early 1990s in his hometown of Bristol.